Wednesday, nice to catch up with Jake White. We've done the full circle. We started on Skype. We had him in studio. Now he's back on Skype, back in Aussie. How's it going, Jake?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Darren.
Nice to chat to you again. And another week of Super Rugby gone. How were some of those results of the weekend? I don't think anyone in their Super Brew, Super anythings got all the results right.
The whistle goes. South Africa are world champions for the second time.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za.
We're always going to get one right, and no one ever thought they'd do it against the Crusaders. But I suppose for us, Darren, the one that was the biggest sort of, not result, but the biggest sort of interest was the Reds game, because as you can imagine, that's the game that's going to work out who's going to finish top in our conference. We've got the Reds next weekend after they play the Lions this weekend.
Yeah, and that's once again one of those scenarios where you, although I mean you're as a South African, but representing an Australian team at the moment, guys shouting against teams from their own country, which is bizarre.
Yeah, look, it's something that I'm not used to. I mean, the reality is it's, you know, that, as you can imagine, when you want to win your conference, you're not basically shouting for teams that are in your conference to win games. And I'm sure it's the same back home. I mean, the Stormers can't be hoping that the Bulls have a successful run on these two tour games left. And I'm sure vice versa. I'm sure the Bulls don't want the Stormers to keep winning either.
All right, sets up nicely for you guys. There is a little bit of a debate going on about the format. And we've never really asked you what you thought of the format of the competition, but obviously the South African guys in particular are saying, hey, it's not fair where, you know, the Aussie side that's leading has got less points than some of the sides that are lower down on the log from South Africa. So a lot of South Africans are saying, oh, they should go back to the old system, the top four should get through and that's it. Do you agree, disagree? What do you think of the format?
Yeah, look, I mean, Darren, I think it's, I mean, as it's panned out now, with the Rebels beating obviously they beat the Crusaders, and then obviously the Reds beat the Chiefs with the leading campaigners as well. So things have slowly turned since I was in South Africa and people were making those comments. I mean, we've got 39 points as a speaker. I think on the table now we're fourth, even though, so we wouldn't be winning our conference as in third place. We would be in the fourth place there. But there's still a lot of derby games left in South Africa for them to still play each other and end up who's going to be tops and who's going to be bottoms. And saying that, Darren, the other thing I think we mustn't forget, I remember a couple of years ago when the South African sides were languishing at the bottom of the Super Rugby table. I think it goes in cycles, and I think, to be fair, there's no doubt that Australia have got the weakest 5 teams now in terms of as a conference. But who knows? Maybe that's going to change in a couple of years from now as well.
Jake, many people saying regarding the format that that the competition should get rid of all the derbies. You want to watch the sides play international teams, not each other.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's always when I remember when I was a national coach, one of the concerns we did have is that we ended up playing, especially in South Africa, is you end up playing all these derbies, and you play Currie Cup Rugby and Vodacom Cup Rugby, and you could play each other in the semi-finals and finals of those competitions as well. So it means you could end up playing, you know, not just in the Super Rugby competition, and many times you could be playing each other in 1 year quite a few times. But I must say, from an Australian point of view, it's different. We don't have a Currie Cup, we don't have a domestic competition, so you know, we're happy that we get a couple of opportunities to play derby games. I mean, as I said, the more rugby the Australians get, the better it is for us.
All right. I don't know if you get the kind of crowds. I mean, already there's talk about, you know, crowds dwindling, but it's the derby games sometimes that really pull in the numbers. So from a crowd point of view, I don't think they'll ever get rid of the derby games.
Maybe, yeah.
No, well, I don't think they will, Darren. I think that's exactly it. I think, you know, you just look at the stats that you guys have. I'm talking from South Africa's point of view in terms of crowd attendance. You're way, way ahead in terms of all 3 franchises. So, I mean, I can't see that the sort of decision makers will want to move too far away from these derby clashes.
You've got to respect the way the Aussies also market the game. I mean, as we've discussed at length, and we're not going to go into it now, but, you know, rugby union fighting for its place in the sun over there. And the way the Rebels hyped up this game against the Crusaders, the vital part of it is, though, that the Rebels have to do things like this and beat teams like the Crusaders to really get this, sport, you know, in a place like Melbourne as big as they want it to be there. So that result this weekend was absolutely vital for rugby union in that area alone.
Of course it is, and I mean, if you consider there were only 12,000 supporters there, you know, so they would go back and tell all their mates, and next week there'll be 25,000 supporters there. I mean, so. Yeah, Darren, it's completely different to what we used to in South Africa. And I know that you said we mustn't talk too much about it, but it's an amazing place when you live here. You know, we're trying to sell rugby union, whereas in South Africa, I mean, the fact that I'm talking to a radio station called Ballz, Ballz Sport now in South Africa, just proves how big rugby in our country is.
Absolutely. And watch, the Rebels will probably get 25,000 and take a pasting by 40 points next week. That's the way they are.
Yeah, and then lose another 15,000 for the following week.
Well, good luck to them. Listen, before we let you go, obviously you got the Canes this weekend.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a massive game. We haven't won in Wellington since 2003. I'm talking as a Brumbies team, and we've played each other 17 times. We're leading 9-8 in the history of the tournament, so it's probably one of the games where it's always been a tight fixture between all Brumbies teams and all Hurricanes teams. So I'm sure you've been to Wellington. It's a tough place to play. We know how it's going to be, and they know they're on the brink of making the sort of playoffs. So we're in for a tough game, but we're looking forward to it.
No, I haven't been to Wellington, and I've been advised to avoid it as like the plague. But yeah, I haven't been there yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you would have been there with the Springboks.
No. Auckland and Christchurch are the only two so far. There's a famous Wellingtonian that is here that just wants to give you his thoughts on that game this weekend. Plum?
Yeah, how you going, Jake? Good to chat to you, mate.
Yeah, Plum, how are you doing?
No, going very well there. Loving it down in Durban, loving the vibe. Go the Sharks.
That's enough.
All right, so
that's enough, Simon. Go on. Let's quickly get your predictions this week while we had, and then we'll wrap it up with you, Jake. So Simon's just going to run through the games this weekend. Tell us what you think.
You don't want Plum to do it?
Oh, well, Plum can give you the games. I don't mind.
Okay, the first game of the weekend is Jake's team, so we won't ask him to predict that one. But Highlanders Bulls, Jake, in Dunedin.
Yeah, I think the Bulls are on a bit of a roll now, and I think it looks like the Bulls have got their game going, and I think the Bulls probably pull that one off, eh?
Give us a margin, please.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close, but I think that probably more now staying. So I'd say about 6 points, eh?
Okay, Bulls by 6. Crusaders Blues in Christchurch.
Yeah, I think the Crusaders will win that game, probably by about 10, eh?
Reds Lions in Brisbane.
Yeah, look, I'd love the Lions to pull that one off and help the Brumbies, but I think the Reds are on a bit of a roll now. I don't think it'll be as far as everyone thinks it's going to be. I think it's probably about 10, eh?
Is it their first game overseas?
No.
Like second game overseas, and already they got a foot on the plane.
No, that's their last game.
It's their last game. Okay, they definitely got a foot on the plane. Yeah.
Then the Cheetahs Sharks in Bloem.
Yeah, that's a tough one, eh? Because I know the Sharks don't like playing in Bloemfontein. I think after the way the Cheetahs are due for a win, and I think I think that could be the game of the weekend. I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cheetahs win that game.
And we know how much the Sharks love playing the Cheetahs.
Well, that's the point. They don't play the Cheetahs at all. So I would probably say the Cheetahs by 3. I think, eh?
Cheetahs by 3.
Okay.
Stormers Waratahs.
Yeah, I think the Stormers will win that game. I think the Stormers will win that game probably by 5, eh?
And then the last game of the weekend on Sunday, the Force up against the Rebels. Do we care?
Yeah, I think that. I think that's again a surprise. I think the Force will win that game. I know people don't expect that, but I think the Force's forwards pack will just be too strong. So I think the Forwards to win that by about 2.
Sure. A game that doesn't really affect the log that much from your point of view. Long may it continue for the Brumbies. Jake, keep it up. Good stuff. And thank you for talking to us today once again on Ballz Visual Radio. Look forward to catching up with you again. Good luck for the weekend.
Pleasure, Darren. Yeah, look after yourself. Thanks buddy.
Bud. Cheers man. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jake.
The ball goes out, the whistle goes. South Africa are world champions for the second time.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za.